What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Making Podcasts Great Again. I am your tech stuff guy, Jay Nog, and we are here, of course, with the President of the United States of Mar-a-Lago of the United States of America, Mr. Donald J. Trump. Mr. President, you look very happy. How are you doing today?
Well, I'm not happy, so I don't know why you say that.
Because you were smiling.
No, that's not a happy smile. That is the Democrats stole the election, and look what they're doing. I'm not surprised. That's a smirk of not surprised.
Okay. Smirk of not surprised. Now, Mr. President, we always talk about these crazy made-up days that exist now. Today is
Well, they just had Holocaust Remembrance Day. That was last week.
but that's like that's a real day. The Holocaust was a major part of history. I mean, that was very
I know, but it's like, oh, it's Holocaust Remembrance Day. It's like, is everybody getting a day now? You have Chocolate Cupcake Day, Holocaust Remembrance Day. Let's just have the real holidays. That's all I'm saying.
You don't think we should remember the Holocaust?
Wait, I think DoorDash just got here and Tiffany wants to run out and eat some. There she goes. Okay, Tiffany, go eat your own ass. What were you saying?
I said, you don't think there should be a Holocaust Remembrance Day?
Wouldn't you want to forget it? I don't go, can we have a divorce from Ivana Day where she took half of my wealth? Please, can we have that remembrance?
I understand what you're saying, but losing 6 million people versus you losing your wife and some money, I don't think are really equal.
Okay, so now we're talking about what, hide and seek? Like,
what do you mean?
Lose? What are you saying? You lost people? Who are these people getting lost?
They died. They were
lost
killed.
And found.
They were killed.
Oh, I didn't know this. Okay, they say do your research. So, okay, all this time I thought it was one big lost and found hide and seek game. Sir, we lost 6 million people. Okay, well then you better go find them. But now you're using different language, and I appreciate that. And this is maybe. I'm starting to think that maybe tech stuff,
yes,
not definite, but maybe some of the people with the torches in Charlottesville weren't totally right. They may have had some things wrong, and I say, I say that. Okay, you hear it. I'm saying that they might have been wrong. They might have had it wrong, and we finally got a tech stuff guy with some information around here. So that's. If there's a silver lining to this, I prefer gold lining, but if there's a silver lining, it's that we're learning and we're teaching. I bet you a lot of the podcast listeners are great, my piggers, and Patreon patriots. They're probably sitting around going, whoever knew? Who knew what the Holocaust was all about? Nobody. In fact, I don't think anybody knew until you told them.
So you thought that 6 million Jews were hiding and were the best hiders in hide and go seek history?
Well, hiders with a hard R. I don't know that I'd say it with a hard R, but well, it's not that I thought. This is how it was presented to me. Sir, we lost 6 million, and I said I lost 600 million. During a downturn in the economy. So
Okay. Well, yeah, it was 6 million Jews that were killed by the Nazis in the Holocaust.
Okay, well, if that's true, if what you're saying is true, we're gonna follow up. But if that's true, that's a very. It doesn't stop me from saying, why would we have a Remembrance Day? I would have Holocaust Forget Day. Let's forget that happened. That was horrible. We have, April 29th in our house is Forget Tiffany Day. Now she calls it her birthday, but I say, no, actually we call it Forget Tiffany Day. Who?
I haven't heard of who in a while.
Well, her mother, her Marcia Maples, gets a cake, and I insist if I'm going to pay for the cake for your daughter, it's got to have who on it, not her age, not her name. It just says who and some candles.
Hmm.
But to our Jewish listeners, who I think we probably have many strong Jewish listeners, we're learning. Okay, this is maybe even news to you what tech stuff is saying. And no, excuse me.
Okay.
Excuse me. I think it's a beautiful thing. It's called learning. And notice this is not critical race theory we're learning. We're learning possibly, if what you're saying is true, we're learning real history. And not too and it's not very happy history if what you're telling me is true. It's actually, many people might call it sad. I'm going to say might be even tragic.
I'd go for a tragic and sad. You can throw both in there.
I would say it's strong tragic.
You're right. It's very strong tragic.
And I realized, but I think I could, how firefighters were getting a lot of pussy after 9/11 with respect.
Yes.
I mean, they got it before 9/11, but after 9/11, it was like drowning. They were drowning in it. And I'm thinking that Ivanka, who is converted to Judaism, I'm wondering if she's going to be if once I tell her what happened, she might need strong shoulders to lean on tonight, not her thin Kushner shoulders, but she might say, "Daddy, sir, can you comfort me tonight? It's very upsetting what I was just told." And I'll say, one of the great ways to comfort after a tragedy is through strong parental intimacy.
I didn't know that. See, I'm learning something tonight also.
It's called Holocaust foreplay.
We're both being educated tonight. Now, Mr. President, speaking of your beautiful, intelligent daughter, Ivanka.
Sexy.
Sexy also. My apologies.
But say it with respect, not in a creepy way.
I don't think I said it very creepy, but I'll try it again.
You know what? No, it's okay. You know what? We all know she's sexy. We all know she's very hot. Wouldn't kill you to mention her great breasts, but okay, you don't want to do that. That's fine.
She has a very nice body. I don't know if it's appropriate for me to comment on her breasts, and she is a married woman, and your daughter.
And I paid for them, so I'm giving you permission.
Very nice breasts.
You're fired. That was a test and you failed. You passed the Holocaust test and you failed the Ivanka test, which is a lot more important.
Well, speaking of, we'll just say your daughter Ivanka. I don't know if you spoke to her today, but she recently testified for the January 6th committee. Did you speak to her? Do you know what she talked about? Did she reveal anything maybe that she shouldn't have said?
Well, I heard there was a nip slip because she wasn't wearing a bra, so she revealed that. And I hope those Congress people, they better have looked away. That's all I can tell you. They better have looked away.
So during her January 6th testimony, she had a nip slip to the committee. How did that happen?
Well, she was wearing a very nice dress.
Mm-hmm.
Very classy. It had sort of like the cleavage cutout. It was form fitting up to the neck, but then had a nice hole right in the center of the breast area. And I think one of these people on the committee, the so-called committee, asked her a very rude question. And I think she jumped up very angrily, and her surgically perfect breast just bopped right out of the sort of center of the dress.
After that happened, did they make her answer the question, or did people forget that they even asked her a question?
I just forgot your question, to be honest, just thinking about it. What was the question? Who?
It said after she had her nip slip, did the committee follow up with the question, or they totally forgot about the question because of the nip slip?
You know, to be honest, I'm not sure. Ivanka was so distraught, but she said they were very rude to me, Daddy, sir. And, you know, she didn't give them anything. She's so poised. She's so confident. You know, it was like and I actually told her, we practiced it at Mar-a-Lago. I said, you should do the basic instinct move, no underwear and do the leg cross. And she, you know, I asked her to practice with me, and she, oh boy, did she get it perfectly.
Okay. So I'm glad I think basic instinct is before her time, right? Or
No, I actually took her to see it for her 11th birthday.
okay. It's an appropriate movie for an 11-year-old.
Well, she was very smart.
Yeah.
And, you know, if we had already scheduled her first augmentation for her 12th birthday. So, you know, they used to do a thing where it was like they changed the voting age in this country from
Mhm.
21 to 18 because they thought if you can be drafted into war, you should be able to vote. So let's make it 18. And my philosophy with Ivanka for strong parenting is old enough to get an augmentation, old enough to see Sharon Stone getting banged to death. I mean, that's not what happened. It's an
No.
expression. It's an
Yes,
expression. It's a strong expression.
I understand. So you don't think she revealed anything to the January 6th committee that can incriminate you?
I mean, they could find me guilty for having a daughter with a Jap, a Jewish ass pussy.
I didn't know. I thought Jap meant something else.
But we're rebranding it because, as you know from earlier in this episode, I'm a strong friend and historian of the Jewish people.
Definitely.
And I felt like it was time that we rebranded it. I remember before he became such a Sleepy Joe fan, I would talk to BiBi Netanyahu, and I thought about how can we improve the reputation of the Jewish people, and he would say to me, "I don't get rid of this phrase Jap. It's very offensive to my people. I don't like the phrase Jap." And I said, well, what if we take the black song WAP and we turn it into a positive, but for beautiful, sexy, steamy, sticky, beautiful Jewish women like Ivanka, and we make it Jap.
And BiBi was down for it?
BiBi thought it was a very strong idea, Ms. Donald Trump, sir.
Because I've gotten some messages from people, and people wanted to hear some updates on your relationship with BiBi and other of your foreign friends since you haven't seen them in a while. Like
Well,
Shinzo and
well,
BiBi.
Shinzo is always good. Shinzo, his health, I think not being president has helped his health. You know, it's a very stressful job. And so he's doing well, and we're very happy about that because he's one of the best. But BiBi and I don't talk. Ever since he called Sleepy Joe over the fake election and tried to kiss sleepy, wrinkly Joe's ass, we don't talk. I don't
Okay.
talk. We don't talk about Bruno, and we don't talk about BiBi. Put that as a title. We don't talk about BiBi. No, no.
Have you spoken to Xi or Samsung?
Well, Samsung, as you know, before this episode, I had a slight issue with my computer.
I did see that.
And thankfully, I have strong tech support from Samuel Song. And I did an instant message with him. And he said, approve my access. So he could remotely control the computer. And in like 3 clicks, he had the computer working. And I said, Sam, thank you. And he said, yes. And just went away.
Mr. President, I still have a couple more topics to talk to you about. And also there are questions from our listeners since this is the first episode of the month of May. But before we get to that, Making Podcasts Great Again is sponsored by Rebeccasloan.com today. That's right, Rebeccasloan.com. I know you ordered some things from Rebeccasloan.com that recently got in.
It arrived today. I arrived. Melatonin and I got into a little bit of an argument,
Mm-hmm.
so I ordered a beautiful bracelet, and it arrived today, and it was beautiful, and it arrived so quickly. It arrived. I felt like, did I even finish clicking order? And then all of a sudden, ding dong, there it was. And so it's a very beautiful piece, and Melatonin already loves it. And she said, Donald, you spend too much money. And you know what I said to her? Yes, I do, but that's okay, because she doesn't need to know that it's so affordable. I feel like even our non-Patreon patriots can
Mm-hmm.
afford this stuff. Even the people who say, I just like the free podcast, sir, they could afford it. And with Mother's Day coming up, I mean, you have all the intel, but I think they make quality stuff. It's affordable. And Mr. Sloan, by the way, you remember Mr. Sloan?
I do remember Mr. Sloan.
He showed up. He showed up. I give him credit, despite the fact that Rebeccasloan clearly wants to be for Mrs. Trump, change the name of the company to Rebecca Trump. He showed up like a man,
He
and
did.
I wouldn't. The only guy I've seen show up and show stronger strength in the face of a man that his wife wants is Roger Stone. Stone and Sloan. These are two strong men that are not afraid to see their wives, you know, looking to Donald Trump and saying, well, that's a great man as well. I would love to be with that man. So we respect them. And yes, but I think on social media, starting, of course, with True Social, I'm going to post a picture of the bracelet tomorrow. Well, they're
Nice.
already, but we'll put it on the Trump Pod account on Twitter. We have so many followers because they're so stupid they haven't kicked me off yet.
That's right. Rebeccasloan.com for a high quality sterling silver jewelry, affordable, always free shipping. Use coupon code Ivanka, that's IVANKA, for a 20% discount. Mother's Day is right around the corner. And if you slept on that gift, right now, go to Rebeccasloan.com. That's Rebeccasloane.com. And it is always free shipping. So you'll get it quickly. You won't have to pay. A lot of people now, Mother's Day, they hike up those shipping rates. Not Rebeccasloan.com, and use Ivanka for a 20% discount on the coupon code. Again, Rebeccasloan.com.
This
Also,
is one of those.
yes.
No, excuse me.
My apologies. My apologies.
Okay, I know she doesn't want to be Rebecca Tech stuff, but that doesn't mean you should skip over it quickly. I'm telling you, we've both. Let me tell you something. This stuff is so nice and affordable that the tech stuff guy got some stuff as well.
That's right.
And his and tech wife is very happy, and Melatonin is very happy, and that's So whether you're a tech stuff guy or a billionaire president, this is the way to go. Use the code Ivanka.
That's right. Rebeccasloan.com and use coupon code Ivanka for a 20% discount. Now, Mr. President, before we started talking about national holidays and we got a little taken away with the Holocaust, but I wanted to know if you are a fan of Harry Potter, because today is National Harry Potter Day, which I think is strange. It's kind of a British show, and yet the U.S. has a day for it. What's your take on this National Harry Potter Day and Harry Potter in general?
Well, at the Harry Post, that's when 6 million wizards were killed.
The Harry Post.
So we're remembering the Harry Post Remembrance Day when they killed 6 million wizards, and it's a real that I can tell you is true history. That is very true history, and it's a very sad day. But we support J.K. Rowling, who is, let's just say, she doesn't even like Transformers. She's so opposed to certain communities. So we respect her very much, and we remember all the wizards lost on at the Harry Post.
Now, Mr. President, we're going to get to questions in just a moment, but this recently came out, and I'd like to hear your opinion on this. Former Pentagon chief Mark Esper. Do you know this man?
I think he was a sort of low energy loser that other people told me I should hire, and he was He wore glasses, which I don't like. That's sort of automatically weak. And the boring suits and sir, hello, sir. Just a very low energy guy. It was like having Jeb Bush running the Pentagon.
I've noticed no Trumps wear glasses.
You're not allowed to say this because people will say you're racist, sir, but maybe we have superior genes. You ever think about that? Even the questionable Trumps like Tiffany, no glasses.
Mm-hmm.
It's called good genes.
Okay. Or do people have contacts and just won't wear glasses?
I have a lot of contacts in my phone.
No, contacts meaning like they're clear little cylinders that you put in your eyes and they help you see. They're kind of like glasses, but they're not glasses. It's basically like a lens that you can put on your eye and you can see better.
Okay, well, okay, I didn't realize. Now all of a sudden you're getting very tech stuff. Some days he doesn't know what's happening. Now he's inventing lenses you put on your eyeball. Okay, make up your mind, tech stuff. You're either a tech stuff guy or you're full of shit. But it's not sci-fi guy. It's called tech stuff. Sir, when people can't hear, sometimes they have devices that they can attach to the ear, and then you can hear magically. Now, I'll make up things. We can make up things, sir.
It's called the hearing aid.
Who?
It's called the hearing aid. You just described something that already exists. It's a hearing aid.
Well, it's pronounced AIDS. Okay.
No, this is a hearing aid.
It's
it
not
helps
like French.
you.
Excuse me. It's not like French. The S is not silent. Magic Johnson, I heard that he has AIDS, not that he has aid.
No, there's a hearing aid. An aid helps you. AIDS is totally different.
Right. If you have two hearing aids, is it okay? Tech stuff. You're gonna be smart.
Okay.
Well, if somebody in your fantasy world that I just made up and now you're telling me is real, if somebody has bad hearing in both ears, can they get hearing aids?
They get a hearing aid in each ear.
And what would you call it to hear? What if I said I have a hearing aid for both ears? How many do I have a plural? Would you possibly say I'm holding hearing aids?
No, I'd say both my ears have a hearing aid in them.
Well, you use too many words, and that's why we call you tech stuff guy and not word stuff guy.
So getting back to Mark Esper. Now, do you remember there was a murder of George Floyd, an innocent man who was laying, well, he was, I think it was a petty crime. And
he made the grills. You make the fat-free hamburgers. It drips off the fat into the tray, and then they killed him.
No. Do you remember there was a police officer who was kneeing on his neck for over 8 minutes?
Excuse me. When Ivanka was in college, she had a George Floyd grill. So that's
George Foreman. George Foreman is the grill. George Floyd is a man who was murdered by a police officer.
No, excuse me. We have both said that you pronounce it however you want to pronounce it, but we both acknowledge that there was a very nasty murder.
Okay. So after that murder, there were protesters in the streets, and you asked Mark.
Excuse me. Many of them were rioting, and it was a very scary time.
There were some people rioting for sure, but you did ask Mark Esper if they can shoot these people who are protesting, but just in the leg. Is this true?
It's called mercy. Oh, Mr. President, sir, you're so mean. You want to shoot that? No, I want to shoot them in the leg. Did you see? I don't like this person because he's turned radical left, but did you see the movie Terminator 2?
Yes, I saw Terminator 2.
Judgment Day.
Yes, Arnold Schwarzenegger, yes.
Very strong Christian movie about Judgment Day. The kid in the movie, John Connor.
Yes.
He says you can't go around killing people. And so the Terminator starts shooting people in the leg. He doesn't kill the people. He just goes, psh, 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 psh. in their legs. And I thought that's the kind of president I'm going to be. A Terminator with mercy.
But that's a movie.
Termercy. Termercy.
Termercy. But that's
Termercy 2 Trump Day. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Da, 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 da. Dun, 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 dun.
You're talking about a fictional movie, Mr. President.
Do you hear Tiffany?
I hear you. She likes that music.
She's a big fan of Arnold Schwarzenegger's muscles. And I said to her, darling, don't worry. He's not going to touch you, not with that face.
That's nice of you.
Oh, it's called strong fathering.
So you're in favor of
Tiffany. Hello, Tiffany. Okay, she's in here now. She's unbelievable, this one.
But I find it
patting her. She's got a big belly on Tiffany. She's put on a little too much weight in law school.
But I find it odd that all these people who come out with tell-all books, this vital information comes out.
They don't tell all. That's the key problem. They should be called tell some books. Because they don't tell the whole truth. They tell little facts. I bet Mark Esper, whatever his name is, this failed person, I bet he's not talking about how I'm showing strong Terminator mercy. No, he's going to say, oh, he wanted to shoot the pro. No, I was saying shoot the rioters in the leg. It's called mercy.
Okay. I guess it's called mercy. But I think it would be just against the law to shoot people who aren't doing anything violent or hurting other people.
Well, you know what? Before when we used to talk, you know what BiBi of BiBi Dojo told me when I said mercy?
What?
In this dojo, there is no mercy. And I said, yes, BiBi. Those were the good old days before he became a radical left loser supporting Sleepy Joe.
Well, Mr. President, we do have some questions from our listeners to end this episode. And let's start with Twitter. There really wasn't any action on Facebook this week, but we do have action from Twitter and Instagram. And this first question on Twitter comes from Andrew Pagnotta at Ann Pagnotta. And it's Mr. President, Dr. Shaman, sir. Is it true that your good friend Kim Jong-un did criminal justice reform with Pig Huck? And if so, what might that have sounded like? Thank you, sir. Is this a rumor? Is this true? I can't see Big Huck cheating.
That is a really nasty question about one of our great people, Big Huck, and also one of our great international leaders, Kim Jong-un. No, they didn't do criminal justice reform. They had a comfortable lunch where, yes, Kim Jong-un was respectfully interested, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with a strong man wanting a strong woman, but he understood that I said there's only two women that you can't have, and that's Ivanka and Big Huck. And so then he had anal with melanoma, my wife.
Okay, that's nice.
Well, it's called diplomacy, tech stuff. It's called diplomacy. But no, I mean, if they were to, I mean, I've heard the two of them in separate scenarios having relations. So it'd probably be something like, oh, Mr. Kim Jong-un, Although at the end of Kim Jong-un sex, you often hear a gunshot where he kills the woman. But obviously I would not do that to Big Huck.
Understood. Thank you, Mr. President, for answering that question, even though you weren't very fond of it.
It was disrespectful.
I agree. This next question from Twitter comes from Rob Shuttleworth, always sending some good questions in. Mr. President, sir, you always take a keen interest in the animals who watch your QAnon Patreon episodes. I wonder if you were an animal, what animal would you be? And what about the rest of the Trump family? What would they be?
That's a strong question. Well, for me, it's I mean, is the easiest one of that is what I would be. I would be a tiger, ferocious, strong, orange, and beautiful.
Okay, that makes sense.
A lot of people would say lion, but the lion is a lazy. I think I talked about this. I described this to somebody once. I respect the lion because he's big, he has great hair, and he has all the women lions do all the work.
Right.
But in reality, I work a lot more than you. I work so much. They tell me, sir, you work so much it would kill most people how much you work. And so I feel like it wouldn't be appropriate for me to be a lion. So I'm a tiger.
Hmm.
Now, I would say Melanoma son. Uh, who's this one?
Bartholomew.
Benjamin.
Okay.
He would be a giraffe.
That makes sense.
Quiet, useless, very tall. Tiffany would be. I feel like Tiffany would be like a manatee. Obviously, Eric. Eric would probably be. What's a really stupid, useless piece of shit animal?
Sloth.
Eric would be a sloth.
Okay,
Okay. Don Jr. would be a rat.
that makes
And not
sense.
just a rat, a filthy sewer rat. Not like a nice lab rat that they like breed and give food and test things on. He's too stupid for that. He would be a sewer rat. He'd be pizza rat, except he would forget the pizza.
Okay. He'd be a New York City sewer rat.
He'd be walking around going, I'm a pizza rat, bro. And then he'd be like, well, where's your pizza, you stupid sack of shit?
How about Ivanka?
And, oh, well, I, you know, Ivanka's such a sexy beast that I think she would just remain a apex predator human. And I would take my big tiger paws and give her a big tiger hug.
Now, I know you said tiger. I'm surprised you didn't say liger, which is a mix of a lion and a tiger. You get the best of the two toughest animals.
Tech stuff. That's why we don't call you zoology stuff. That is not a real animal.
I think it is a real animal.
There is no such thing as a liger.
I'm going to look that up right now.
And then for you to put a hard R on it also is very offensive.
Liger. Yeah, liger, an animal. It's right here. A liger. A liger is a hybrid offspring of a male lion and a female tiger.
Fake news.
God damn it.
Fake zoos.
Okay. Now, we do have some Instagram questions for you here. And I'm just going to go down the list here. This is from at Aaron415SF. Dear Supreme Commander of the Mountain Dew Army, sir, seeing as you have proven that you are a very successful tech innovator with True Social, is there a reason that you chose not to save failing social media company Twitter before the far less successful Elon Musk did?
Twitter is going to go bye-bye. Without me, Twitter is totally failing. So if Ethan Musk wants to save it, he can do whatever he wants. It's a free country. I think it'll be better than the people they had. It's not too hard to be better than the radical left losers that were running it. But I think he could do good things. But no, I don't need. When I have truth social, I don't need Twitter. Because you notice what Twitter doesn't have? It doesn't have truth, and it doesn't have social.
Well, in the name, but technically it's social networking, Twitter.
No, technically it's a radical left piece of shit.
Okay, you're right. The next question comes from @Natty Parks with a Z. His Excellency, Dr. Mr. President, sir, Field Marshal, conqueror of the Blue Wall in general, and Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin in particular. Will Vice President Pence be strongly considering Madison Cawthorn as a running mate in light of his latest leaked video?
No, what you don't get is Mike Pence. I think it's going to turn into a very strong rivalry between Pence and Cawthorn. Cawthorn's a very strong guy, but he doesn't have legs. So that puts him at a disadvantage. Now, if he can get Pence by the cock with his hands, I think he's going to milk Pence to death. But if Pence can keep his distance and maybe just think about Freddie Mercury and then, hold it in for a couple of days and then, evangelical explode from like a couple of feet away before Cawthorn can wheel over, I think at that point he would win the battle. But I think they're gonna fight to the death for supreme closeted Republican. And I think it's gonna be a very, you know what? Even though he's a disgusting traitor, I think Mike, I'm gonna bet online.ag and I'm gonna say that you're gonna defeat Cawthorn for closeted Republican of the year. So that would be my bet. But I think they have a rivalry. I don't think it's like, it makes sense that they might want to be a power couple, like a twink and a daddy. But in fact, I think they're going to fight to the death. And if Pence can keep his distance and his erection, I think he would win. But if Cawthorn gets those strong,
those meaty paws,
Nazi hands on him, I think he's going to ground and pound him. And then he's going to pound him.
Ground and pound him and pound him. Two more questions, Mr. President. This comes from Justy in View. Dear Doctor, Sir, President, Sir, I heard you very powerfully and with strong strength endorse JD Mandel at your rally the other day. Who the hell is JD Mandel?
Well, I don't like that this person is saying what in the hell. That's not good. This is a Christian show. Okay, so I don't want to hear any disrespectful motherfucking language out of you people.
Okay.
Slap the taste out of your fucking mouth if you show up with that non-Christian language. But I will, out of respect, answer the question. JD Mandel is a very talented person, okay, who is related to Howie Mandel, who is very strong on germs, and also JD Power and Associates also rates a lot of things in commercials. So you're talking about somebody who rates things in commercials, somebody who has comedy, somebody who has very anti-germ, because after COVID, you want somebody who's strong on anti-germs. And on this Harry Pot Remembrance Day, I think it's important that we be anti-germs, because the germs did a lot of nasty things back in the 30s and 40s. The germs were doing so many bad things. So when you have somebody like a JD Mandel, who's taught very strongly by Howie Mandel to be anti-germs, I think it all comes together, and you have people that never forget.
I agree.
And I think he's going to win. He's running, I believe, for president of Montana, and I endorsed him strongly, and I think he's going to win.
And Mr. President, before we get to this last question, just want to let all the listeners know they should be joining the Patreon for this podcast, patreon.com/MPGA. We had a boatload of people come on this week because of the stellar episodes and
boatload.
Yes. of all the awesome episodes that we released recently. And like I said before, there is probably around 100 hours to binge on if you join the Patreon. There's bonus episodes, live Q&A episodes. We have movie reviews, special guests that come on. Please sign up for it. Start at the $5, work your way up. Everybody does. Patreon.com/MPGA. Now, Mr. President, our last question here comes from Luke Revolution. Dear Mr. President, Dr. Sir Esquire Shaman, we know the fake news media wouldn't ever deserve to have a White House Correspondence Dinner, but if you had held one, what kind of things would you have done at the White House Correspondence Dinner if you've been the host?
What I would do, and I can do this at my next White House Correspondence Dinner in 2025. What I would do, I would invite Chanel Rion of OAN up on
Okay.
the dais with me, and I would make powerful love to her in front of all the fake news. And then I would invite Lauren Boebert, who by then would be the fourth Mrs. Trump, to join us for a powerful presidential media threesome. And while the fake news was horrified, we would lock the doors and begin murdering all the fake news. So the OAN, the Newsmax, the Fox News, they would be okay. And then we would party around their dead bodies.
That's nice. Very good.
And we would call it the White House Correspondence Murder, not dinner.
I gotcha.
And then, then Chanel and Boebert would come back to the White House with me, and we'd have a strong media presidential threesome. And then we would post the video onto Netflix, my streaming platform run by Ivanka, featuring Ivanka content. And we would declare the enemy the people defeated. And then the official news station of the United States of America would be OAN, featuring future Mrs. Trump #5, Chanel Rion.
That sounds like a great correspondence dinner. I can't wait for it in the future. Mr. President.
With jokes. We would have strong jokes from Greg
course.
Gutfeld, Nick DiPaolo, and Kid Rock.
That sounds like a great correspondence dinner. Mr. President, thank you again for joining us every single week, sometimes twice a week, sometimes 3 times a week. We really appreciate it. And to all the listeners out there, we appreciate you. Who should we check out? Is she your mistress yet, Mr. President?
Excuse me. We have a very respectful business relationship that I feel like there's sort of a will they, won't they kind of vibe. But right now it's just strong business.
Okay. And for strong business, or for the best sterling silver jewelry that you can get, go to Rebeccasloan.com. That's Rebeccasloane, Rebeccasloan.com. We have Mother's Day coming up. Use coupon code Ivanka for 20% discount. And remember, it's always free shipping. So go check that out for Mother's Day. And if you haven't already, please go check out my special, Something from Nothing. It's now on Fios on demand as well. I just saw a pop up with Jim Gaffigan's special. I know he's a big liberal, Mr. President. I'm sorry to bring him up, but check it out.
We
Something
did have
from
him on the show, though.
Yes, we did.
Unlike the left, we don't no cancel culture. We had radical left Jim Gaffigan on the show a couple of years ago.
We did.
Before the pandemic. That's what Sleepy Joe and the left wanted to do. They knew we were having strong guests, and they said, let's do a pandemic and stop the show.
Well, check out Something from Nothing. It's on Vimeo, it's on YouTube, it's on Amazon, it's on almost every cable provider, video on demand. And that's it for me. Mr. President, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Tech Stuff. You're fired. Hello, everybody. It's JL. A couple of quick announcements. Check out Righteous PK Podcast. Check out JL Max Plus Prime, my new Patreon. Check out me at some shows. May 14th, New York City, 9:30 p.m. Special taping. Version 2. And Sellersville, Pennsylvania. If you are someone who lives between Allentown and Philly, I will be at the Sellersville Theater on May 22nd at 8 p.m. And then nothing for a while. And then Boston, July 15th. So that's it. Everybody, have a great week. Thank you for listening. Share this. If you're still listening, share it with a friend. I know we say that a lot, but it's like, come on. If you enjoy it, why keep it to yourself? Help us. Help your friends enjoy their lives. Help us enjoy more money, and do it. And God help us all.